family. I had fallen from their tree in this bleak story. Will they weep for me when you set my poor heart free? When you set my poor heart free. When you set my poor heart free.
Thank you, World Wide Web. Mr. Storms will now prepare us to play the first song on our latest CD. It's called No Man's Land.
The church west staked his claim and the promise of a better life. When he reached the Cimarron River, he took himself a wife, settled down near Boise City, bust aside in the August heat, rip the grassland from the prairie, harvest the winter wheat. In the spring of 28, record harvest graced the land. By the summer of 1932, all the earth had turned to sand, and the tumbleweed is rolling. Blue Northern's howling on. By the spring of 35, we knew reap just what you sow. They stayed behind, stayed behind. I'm a Dust Bowl refugee, 'cause my daddy would not flee this godforsaken homestead here in no man's land. 22 cents a bushel, supply but no demand. The economy was dying as we tractored out the land. The railroad never made it, banks they all went bust. Comanche spirits haunt us as we slept in beds of dust. Then my daddy slipped away in early 41. I'm just a high plains drifter, a sodbuster's son, and the tumbleweed is rolling. Blue Northern's howling moan. By the spring of 35, we knew you reap just what you sow. They stayed behind, stayed behind. I'm a Dust Bowl refugee, 'cause my daddy would not leave this godforsaken homestead here in no man's land. This godforsaken homestead here in no man's land. Walk from Texas to Alabama, Lubbock to Birmingham. Walk so long, step right through the shoes. long till I get back home. Oh, sweet mama, got the Carolina blues. Get me back home to my baby. Appalachian angel smoking down the muse. I cried 'cause I am so doggone lonesome. Oh, sweet mama, got the Carolina blues. Dreaming of the pines as I stare at the white line. Pray to God that my baby has stayed true. Oh, sweet mama, got the Carolina blues. Get me back home to my baby. Appalachian angel soaking down the muse. I cried 'cause I am so doggone lonesome. Oh, sweet mama, got the Carolina blues. Oh, sweet mama, got the Carolina blues. Oh, sweet mama, got the Carolina blues.
Great. Thank you guys so much for coming in. This is awesome.
Thanks, Jake.
All right, well, you guys released your first album in 2007. How did the Gravy Boys, before then, get started?
Well, that's a long story, but I'll make it really short for you. Three brothers have been playing together forever. A couple guys were in another band, came together about fall 2004 and realized they had a lot of things in common that they wanted to explore, basically building old-time sounds with modern themes and sounds, and that's how it happened.
Well, could you talk about y'all's, I know you all have varying influences, but in general, the sound of Gravy Boys, what is y'all's influence? Where do you draw that inspiration?
Well, we call it acoustic Americana because we really cannot, kind of speak as one voice about what all our influences are. And we feel like acoustic Americana kind of draws from all the best of old-timey and traditional and country and Nashville country and rock and roll and blues and jazz. I mean, we'll draw on anything that inspires us at the time.
Right. Well, your live shows, you typically incorporate covers. Which musicians do you guys typically play in your live shows?
All right, I'll try to hit the highlights, but help me out, guys. So,
It's a gamut.
Yeah, there's a gamut. I mean, Johnny Cash, Hank Williams, Ryan Adams, and/or Whiskey Town, Steve Earle,
Lefty Frizzell.
Lefty Frizzell. What did I leave out?
Haggard, the band,
Dylan.
Dylan,
We try to leave no stone unturned.
the Zombies.
That's right.
Wow, all over the place, really.
Right, yeah.
Well, Steve, I know you in particular have a rock background. So how did you get into this traditional Americana music? What drew you into it?
Well, all I can tell you is that one of the first records that I remember hearing at my parents' house was Peter, Paul, and Mary, and I always kind of liked that sound, and I always enjoyed acoustic music, but I definitely went down the rock and blues thing, but I've always played acoustic guitar, and this is really, I'm really delighted to have found this vehicle to express that part of my thing.
Well, all right, well, let's talk about your new album, Dust Bowl Lover. When did you guys start writing that album, and how did you guys progress from the first album to that one?
Wow. So the beginning of the answer to that is that it wasn't, like we sat down together as a group and said, okay, here's the project, let's write a new album. A couple of us already had some songs that had been in our own, personal storage system for a few years. Those are on there. Billy is the star at, the album is going to stink unless we have 3 more songs. We need something in a week. He knocked 3 out in about a week. Steve loves to do thematic songs, read about something, he gets inspired about some historical perspective, and No Man's Land is a great example of that. So he ripped out a song that way. I mean, it really was, it came from, 4 of the 5 of us from a writing perspective, and it wasn't like the songs were all written specifically for that album. Right. We were just lucky enough to have enough in the arsenal when we decided we were ready to do the next album that we could draw on the stuff that was already pretty much done.
Well, the second part, how you guys progressed from the first album to the next one as a band.
Yeah, well, I'd say we sound a lot better than the second album.
Well, I bet that has a lot to do with working with John Plymale as well.
It definitely, yeah. I mean,
There's no doubt.
yeah, and I'm not going to short shrift all the compliments that John Plymale deserves. I would say it's two things. One, we had played a lot more live shows from the time we released Working Angels for Handouts to the time we released Dust Bowl Lover.
We'd really tightened up.
Yeah, there's nothing that can replace repetition, and John really was a magician with us, and we were so blessed to find him when we did, because we had all kinds of inspired, crazy ideas about what we wanted the next album to sound like, but it was really hard to kind of find that middle line, that thing that brought it all together, and John was just so good at figuring that out for us and bringing us all to that place.
We were also really lucky to have some really incredible guest musicians on that album. I don't think
That's true.
Not mention Alan Love on pedal steel guitar, who's a wizard. Bobby Britt, who I don't know what you can say about him and his fiddle playing. He's just a prodigal child, and
Andy.
keep forgetting somebody. Help me.
Andy Klein.
Andy on trombone.
Yeah.
And Chandler Holt.
Yeah, Chandler Holt.
Chandler
That's
Holt.
the thing, from Chatham County
On
Line.
banjo.
Laid down some nice banjo for us. So we had some nice.
Our guest musicians as a whole are much more impressive than the band itself is. Yeah.
Well, on top of that album release, you guys have had a pretty big year. I mean, you guys played Merle Fest. Your song's been featured on NPR and WUNC.
That's right.
I mean, what do you guys think of that? I mean, this has been huge. Is it overwhelming?
Well, I gotta say, one of the highlights of my life is hearing a song that I wrote in between bits about mufflers and car parts on Car Talk. That was really exciting for me.
How did that happen? I mean, did you contact them? Did they contact you?
I did. I contacted them and I submitted music to them, and they heard it and said, we want that on the show, so we're going to put it on. Then they did me a nice favor and emailed me the week before and said it's going to be on this weekend, and I shared it with the boys, and we got it out to our fans, and everybody got to enjoy it.
That's awesome.
And I think we also need to give a shout out to Mary, our manager, who has really worked hard to get us a lot of these gigs, kind of by magic, waving magic wands, getting us into Merle Fest. We've been invited back to Merle Fest this year. We'll be there. We're playing at Shikori Hills.
Yeah.
We just got a gig at the American Tobacco District Friday series thing that happens
September.
through NPR. We're playing there in September. So we've got a lot of WUNC, excuse me.
And Freddie Jenkins there has been a good friend.
So it's just
Absolutely.
like this like support structure has just sort of materialized. So we're not quite sure. We're just going along for the ride, I think, now.
Well, could you talk about your Merle Fest experience? I mean, you guys have played along with some amazing artists there, and then this year you've got Avett Brothers that are going to be there, Zach Brownbrand. I mean, it's all over the place.
Of course, I'm pretty sure that by the end of Merle Fest, the Avett Brothers will still have no idea who we are, and that's okay. If I get within 6 feet of those guys, I'm going to be happy. I don't know, guys. I mean, Merle Fest is it's Merle Fest. I mean, there's nothing else like it, and no matter how low you are on the food chain of bands that are invited to play there, you get treated like a VIP, and it's just there's just no replacing that experience. That, and I absolutely loved how they would take us from one location to another in a golf cart, and I could hold up the Gravy Boys barrel on the back and show it to people. That was one of the highlights of my musical life.
Excellent. So, well, I mean, I'm sure it's too early to already be working on a new album, but what's next for you guys? I mean, Merle Fest coming up, Shikori Hills. What else is going on?
Well, we're starting to wrestle down some new material, and it's in the vision. But no specific plans for another album. But I'm pretty sure there'll be a
I don't
third
plan on
one.
start writing songs until they tell us we're going to the studio for a couple of weeks. So
He's-
once they say that, then I'll
Yeah.
get going.
He's useless unless there's pressure.
Billy's the closer. He's like Goose Gossage. He needs ninth inning pressure to write a few good songs.
Excellent. Well, let's hear some more tunes.
Glad to. Thanks, Jake.
Watch my wife make her ready at the table, dressing to go out this Saturday night, hiding 7 years of marriage behind her makeup, and there's a coolness in her eyes that doesn't lie. We ride beside the Hudson without speaking, and I pray, dear God, not this time, not tonight, as we step into the porch light. Front door opens wide, see the smile I have known so many times. Well, hello, Eleanor, I believe we've met before. There's a twinkle in your eye every time it meets with mine. Hello, Eleanor, is it me you're looking for? Yes, it's good to see you, but I need to look away. Evening breeze, summer perfume, and clinking glasses as we talk amongst the ginger and the rye. It's me and her and you and him, and the weather, it's all quite civil, it's all quite pretty, but it's a lie. We go and take our places at the table, and we sit amongst the crystal and white lakes. Pictures of their children hanging in the hall, and I pray they never know or fall from grace. Hello, Eleanor, I believe we've met before. There's a twinkle in your eye every time it meets with mine. Hello, Eleanor, is it me you're looking for? Yes, it's good to see you, but I need to look away. Yes, it's good to see you, but I need to look away. That was Hello, Eleanor from our most recent CD. Next song is our favorite attempt at a barn burner. This is called Central Valley. The land was tractored out, prayed to God for rain. That's blew my broken family across the southern plains. Packed that old jalopy in early 35. Lived down America's Main Street, wiping tears from our eyes. Wanderers through the desert, pilgrims through the hills. We reached that Central Valley, it gave our souls a chill. camper sprinter slowly passing. Then a man give me a flyer advertising working class, busting my back, picking cotton for my pay. But a man can't feed his family on just $2 a day. I've been penning and a penning, but tonight I'm gonna pray. I'll fill myself with whiskey and fill my spirits in. Push that Central Valley and set the night ablaze, and take down any lawman that there stands in my way. Folks, they call me Okie, though I'm from Arkansas. Since I got to California, I've been bullied by the law. They'll label you red if you try to organize, or whack you with the jack handle right between the eyes. I've been bending and bending, but tonight I'm gonna free. I fill myself with whiskey and all my spirits in. First that Central Valley and set the night ablaze, and take down any lawman that there stands in my way. Smoky room, sour mash, the smell of perfume's got me in a trance. Ruby lips, tight blue jeans, just walked right into this bar, straight from my dreams. Say that I'll never get to heaven. It can never happen forever like me. Tonight I'm proving them wrong. I've got an angel for my baby. Sawdusty floor, coffee or grills, red bow ties up a long black ponytail, white and brown eyes, warm embrace. Heart stands still as I stare at her pretty face. Say that I'll never get to heaven. It could never happen forever like me. Tonight I'm proving them wrong. 'Cause I've got an angel for my baby. Texas swing, boots on wood, my bodies move together the way bodies should. Dancing slow, her arms around me. The night is all wrapped up, and so are we. Say that I'll never get to heaven.